who served as the Democrat senator from West Virginia for 14 years. He left the party in 2024, registered as an independent. Senator, thank you for coming on the show. Great to have you.
Hey, Trey.
I wanted to kind of bring this soundbite up because this is El Sayed. He's talking about the fact that, you know, there's not a great deal of support in his mind for Chuck Schumer. Watch this.
I want whoever's going to give us the best shot at leading to get money out of politics, put money in your pocket, pass Medicare for all. And I know right now the leadership that we've had for too long on the Democratic side is a lot more interested in courting big money into our politics. We've watched as money has come out of our politics and we don't yet have Medicare for all, not even a movement for it. And so we need leadership that is going to lead forthrightly on these questions.
Yeah, he's talking about Chuck Schumer there, but it could easily be Hakeem Jeffries. Not a lot of support for him among the Democratic Socialists. The party, your former party, sir, is moving farther left, and they don't like leadership.
Well, that's why I'm not a member of my former party anymore, because they are moving too far left. I told Joe Biden, who has been a friend for many, many years, I never thought that President Biden was ever that far left, but when he, this 2020 election, his staff took him so far left. I said, Mr. President, they're taking you down the primrose path you can't return from. And it just got worse and worse and worse. So now it's even further left than I ever thought it could get. I don't think that's part of the Democratic Party. They really ought to start their own party. If, you know, the Democrats I grew up with and that I have known all my life were hardworking, that they were fiscally responsible and socially compassionate. And I think that's how most people are. But then it became to the point where they wanted to take care of more people that were able-bodied, capable people that could work and should work, that didn't work, and that's what they lost all of the labor in my state. And my state flipped completely within a one-decade period. No one's ever seen that happen so quickly. And I tried to explain that to them. You have to have a very, very tough border. You have to have a very strong border control there. You have to have a pathway forward to citizenship when the people come the right way. That's just part of who we are as a country, and it should be accepted. If a Democrat can't say that, then they're not going to be able to get back in control. And I would say that the gentleman that you were just interviewing there, or showed on the clip, I would think that my friend Mike Rogers is pretty much elated about that opportunity.
Yeah, I mean, what's interesting to me is you talk about the Democratic Party kind of moving away and forming their own party, but it seems to be the opposite. I mean, there's a lot of these DSA members that came out and said they are not in support of Hakeem Jeffries, and now it appears to me that Hakeem Jeffries is kind of taking steps their way, trying to acquiesce them. It doesn't seem like a move you would support, sir.
Not at all. No, you have to stand for something. You have to be very strong about what you stand for and be very clear. And you have to mean what you say and say what you mean. The thing about the Democratic Party, they have lost basically the focus that there has to be accountability and responsibility. Trace, you just can't give everything away. That's why I could not vote for the BBB, the Build Back Better bill. But, you know, the parties have had total control, and they wanted total control. Both, you have the MAGA, and now you have from the progressives all the way to the DSA. And then you have the Democrat and Republican parties that controlled the primaries, and this is what they get. When they controlled the primaries, you had the activists really get involved, Trace, and be able to take over. And 16, 17, 18% turnout during the primary election doesn't take that many votes to get elected.
I want to give you
elections are a whole different thing.
Pardon me for interrupting, sir. I want to give you one more example because the California governor, who many believe is going to run for president, Gavin Newsom, he said this. He thinks that, you know what, this DSA, the Democratic Socialists of America, great, bring them on. He wants the tent to get even bigger. He doesn't care who's in it. Watch.
And it's very healthy. I don't think it's unhealthy. So I completely reject this notion. And look, I'm for addition, not subtraction. The Democratic Party needs to be in the addition business if we're going to get back into the majority. Yeah, we need to get our base out there. We got to turn out. But we also need to be, and I'm not offended by this notion of a big tent. And I think it's important, though, that big tent is a big tent.
Yeah, he apparently is not offended at the fact that that big tent is moving further and further to the left, sir. Your final comments.
Well, my final comment would be this. I feel sorry for Gavin Newsom and all the people that believe by just expanding the tent is going to make your party stronger and better. You have to have character. You have to have discipline. You have to understand what you're dealing with. And if you don't believe that this country is the greatest country on earth, God did bless this country, and we have a responsibility to the next generation. You can't just throw caution to the wind and say we want no police, we want no oversight whatsoever, no accountability, and we're not going to hold you responsible. That's not who we are. That's not how we were raised. That's not what this country believes. And I'll guarantee you, they will not be successful. They will not be successful if they alter to that. And if the leadership of the Democratic Party, both Akeem and Chuck, aren't tough about what they want and how they're going to run the party, then they're going to get run out of the party.
You talk about loving your country. I know it was last comment here, but I have to ask you, Fox News polling came out last week, 27% of Democrats proud of their country. Final thoughts.
That's a shame. It's not in what Democrats are left in West Virginia, they're still Democrats. That's why independence. Trace, if independence is 50%, almost 50% of people that are registered to participate in voting in America are independent like me now, no party affiliation. We're disenfranchised. We need to gather our own thoughts and our own strength and start voting where independents have support. And when they get to Washington, they can bring common sense back and help both parties get back to the middle. But if the Democrats think they can go left and get the majority, they're wrong. That will not happen.
Senator, great to have you on the show. Thank you, sir.
Well, good to be with you, Tracy. Thank you.
Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest on YouTube and catch full shows streaming now on Fox One.